Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is November 2nd, 2024, and we're having a Sunshower Power Team meeting, a sort of a meet and greet, so that new folks can get to know folks that have been around the block on the team, and that some of those that have been around the block get to meet some of the new people, because that hasn't happened in person yet. And some people are in other states and like that. So we'll see. If it's just us chickens, then at least you'll have this recording. So with that, I'd like to first introduce my sponsor, Jana Shiloh, homeopath that I've known since 1987. And secondly, I'd like to introduce her sponsor, Sunwolf, who is marvelous. We're all marvelous. We're all beings of light. And we're just so glad that you could join us, whether for the replay or in person. So, Jana, would you like to just tell us how you learned about LifeWave and why in the heck you decided to join?
Yes, that man Sunwolf is the one responsible for all this. I called to tell him about something I had learned about at a different multi-level marketing company. And he said, I have something to tell you about. It's like, oh, here we go. All right, what is it? And then he told me about these patches that stimulate that. At first, he just said they're stem cell patches. And I knew a lot about stem cells. I actually had gone down to Mexico previous to all of this to get some stem cells. And I knew that it wasn't possible to put stem cells in a patch. And I said, Sunwolf, that's ridiculous. It's not possible. You have to freeze them, and then you have to get it to the person within 20 minutes and all this stuff. And the patches could never do that. And he said, no, you don't understand. And then he said, these stimulate your own body to make stem cells. And that kind of caught my attention, because being a homeopath, in homeopathy, our remedies stimulate the body into healing itself. And I didn't know anything else that would actually do that at that point. So I said, all right, send me the information. And he did. And I was really intrigued. So I decided to order some. And I had an amazing experience with them. I mean, I felt like my energy perked up, and people were actually coming over to me in the health food store and saying, Jana, what are you doing? You look fantastic. And I would pull out my little patch and say, I'm doing this, I'm using this. So that's how I first got started. And then, of course, I was experimenting with my clients. And one of my favorite stories is my neighbor who was using crutches. He had taken out a loan of $10,000 to get both of his knees injected with stem cells. And it was probably 6 weeks later, he was still on his crutches. He still hadn't noticed any changes. So I said, I just discovered something. I want you to try it. And I brought it over for him. And he ordered some. And within a week after starting to use them, he threw away his crutches. So it was an example of how, you hear about all these wonderful things with stem cells, but you go and get it for $5,000 for a shot, and it's literally a one-shot deal, right? You get it once, your body uses them, and then they're gone, right? And your body doesn't make any more. So the patches are miraculous because they keep stimulating your body over and over and over again every time you use the patch to make more stem cells. And I realized it was like the best health insurance policy you could possibly have, because the stem cells cruise around your body looking for something to fix.
It's a good way to put it.
Right? And the example I did get from going down to Mexico and spending a number of thousands of dollars, less than my neighbors had spent though, was that when I had blood work done, now I didn't feel a whole lot with my hip, but I had blood work done, and my doctor compared the blood work, and he said, "Oh my God, Jonna," he said, "your heart and your kidneys look so much better." And that's another favorite story of mine. And I looked at him and I said, "You never told me I had a problem with my heart and my kidneys." And he just kind of shrugged. I think he sort of figured, people at my age, you wouldn't expect them to be at the top of the curve. You'd expect them on the bottom. But that all changed because the stem cells found their way to my heart and my kidneys, which were way more important than my hip as far as my stem cells were concerned. So I just love these patches. I love every single one of them that they have. I could go on and on about glutathione and its antioxidant effects and anti-inflammation functions, and Eon for the nervous system. The Eon really helped me sleep really well. And I just, at that point, they said, I don't think, they said, well, it doesn't really matter where you put it, but here's where we put it when we did research. But when so I would just throw the patch in bed with me at night. I wouldn't peel it off or anything. I just throw it in because I knew I would be lying on it some angle or other. And it really helped me sleep. I was having trouble sleeping, and I didn't think it was because I was nervous or anything. But anyway, those are two of the wonderful other patches that they have. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
We love your stories. I have the privilege of seeing Jonna quite often, because we're pretty much neighbors and we've been friends for so long. And I've heard a multitude of stories from you. Because I know you have to leave by a certain time today, I wondered if you would just mention what's going to be happening in Sedona with LifeWave in December.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited over the top. Carrie Maudet, who is one of what we call the frontline doctors. She was there at the beginning with COVID, advising people what to do and how to handle themselves and everything. She's an amazing, amazing woman. And she's coming to Sedona.
Woo!
And she's going to be giving a talk December 9th, which is on a Monday, at we're going to say the place has to get cleared out. We're going to say 6:45. And she's going to talk about some of the things in her life, and share how LifeWave has woven into her life since she discovered it. She is I'm her sponsor, and she's got some wonderful stories to tell. She's been all over. She just came back. I think she's back now from North Carolina, going down there to help the people in the flood and hurricane. So she's phenomenal, and I'm so excited to be able to host her, have her here, share her experiences with the LifeWave community and all of your friends. I mean, she's like a celebrity in the alternative health field. And I'm excited for all of you to actually get a chance to meet her.
Yeah, it was my privilege to actually sit with her for a few minutes. She's very popular, but we sat for a few minutes, and my main purpose with sitting with her was to find out if she was by chance coming to Sedona anytime soon. And she goes, well, as a matter of fact, I will be there in December. I'm like, really? So she will appear at the Ultimate Light Mission, which is where, Robin and Gregory came 2 years ago, and Michael Jaco. And so this time she'll be the star of the show, and we'll do our best to, make everybody feel at home and welcome. So thank you so much Jonna, for taking time. I know you have to.
You're welcome. And thank you, Sunshower, for initiating the whole idea.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes. Way to go, Sunshower. The opportunist.
Right.
So
well, great
you,
connecting with all of you, and I hope to be able to do that in person really soon.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Great to see you, Jonna.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Great to see you.
And now Sunwolf, who is Jana's sponsor, will speak next.
All right, so where do I begin, except to begin? I've known LifeWave, very few people know this, since the beginning, 20 years ago. And I was very impressed with the technology. At that time, they had the energy patch only. And it was incredible to see how many professional athletes were using it. Basketball players, Serena Williams, tennis, you could see it on her wrist. So I was extremely impressed, and they would attract quite a few health professionals and acupuncturists. But at the same time, a startup company is not easy. They have their hiccups, and he was also ahead of his time. So when I looked at it, and I loved the product, I play sports, and I noticed certainly, you know, when I'm feeling tired after a certain hour, I'm going, what's going on here? I feel like I've just started to play again. So I knew that he had something extremely special, but I also knew that he was way ahead of his time. So here we go, 20 years later, it is the perfect timing. Anyone who joins LifeWave right now, it's optimum. I mean, with all the things happening, with what he's doing and the new technology coming out in the first quarter, it's quite the story. And the story I'll share with you is also some stories that I have regarding the benefits I've had with the patches. I have above average health, been in a holistic health field for 51 years. So I've always shared other people's story. But now I've been able to share my story for the first time. And my story actually is a trifecta, which means 3 stories. Let me start off with the biggest, the most important. When I was playing my racquetball, my knee scraped the wall, and all of a sudden I was feeling it itchy, and it was getting red. And I went, what is going on here? It started to abscess. I went to the ortho, and he says, you have a very serious infection. It's formed cellulitis. I cried. I realized how serious this was. And Robin said, who's our upline, put it right on a knee, put it right on a knee. So I put it right on the knee. And by the way, I didn't say that I rejoined LifeWave. I think that was 5 years ago, I think. And lo and behold,
which patch did you put on your knee?
X39.
Okay.
And what was interesting is when I went back to the ortho, he says, this is very fascinating. Your infection is actually receding. He couldn't understand it. He was thrilled for me. And then I saw the wound specialist the next day, and she looks me in the eye with a big smile and says, I am thrilled for you. I don't know what's going on. Who cares? The bottom line is, I've never seen anything like this in my 28 years. You must come from another planet. I said, I think I do. So that was, I had a total miraculous recovery. Totally. The second thing, I had a wart on my thumb for decades, gone away. Again, X39. That's our holy grail. That's where, you know, we ought to start with anything that's going on. And the third was very interesting, is floaters in my eyes. And it took me, you know, a couple of months or so to notice some big changes. I had some big floaters, all gone. I used X39, you know, and I also alternated with carnosine and sometimes glutathione. So I just went with my instinct. I had a face mask. At night, I would put one on each eye. You know, it just never ceases to amaze me when I go to myself, like right now, I don't see anything. There were times when I would see small particles of it, but now it's just, I used to say it was like 85, 90%. Now I'd have to say it's like 98%. I'm just kind of looking right now in amazement. You know, Sunshower, this is really amazing. As I'm focusing in our busy days, we don't think about checking our floaters, but nothing is floating in front of me. Nothing is floating on the side of me. It's all floated away. You know, so I'm extremely, extremely grateful for this, and grateful for what David Schmidt really stands for and what he's doing also in a humanitarian way, and what he's done with the drones that he's invented. That is in Denmark, which is which is the biggest storehouse of drones in the world. He's got 42,000 square feet. And of course, the documentary that's going on with David Schmidt that I think is going to be complete at the end of January. So here's the key piece. It's all about the conversation, and the conversation could be no better than what's going on with LifeWave in 2 or 3 or 4 different fronts. And it's very exciting. It's very inspiring. And, the fact that we're in so many countries really bodes well in the far reach we have with this company and this incredible product, not to mention the new technology that's going to be released in this water machine first quarter of next year. So I could go on, but did you want me to go on, or did you want to ask me a question, or should I just go on?
I'd actually like, for the recording, for the other 2 folks that are here to just say their names, where they live, and when they joined LifeWave and why they love it, what's going on for them right now within the company. And so I'd like to ask Eleanor to speak first.
My name is Eleanor. I live in Cottonwood, and I think I've been using the patches 3 or 4 years, I think.
Cool.
I like them. I feel the difference when I wear them. I think it gives me more of a feeling of well-being. I think it's just helped me with my overall state of mind, made me feel just lighter. And I definitely have more energy than a lot of my friends. And I like being able to do things. And one of the things I'm hoping is that my brain will keep getting better and better and sharper. I've seen some improvements, and I expect more to happen along those lines. So thank you.
Thanks, Eleanor. And I've watched David Schmidt speak about his water and the machine, and frankly, through a certain cartridge and certain supplements, we can actually direct where we want the water to go in our body. Hi, Angela. Hi. Angela's in Syracuse, right? New York? Yeah. Anyway, I was just talking about the water a little bit. Angela, you did get to see the conference via the virtual, right?
I didn't look at it yet. I don't know. I didn't get the invitation to do it because I was going to come with as a regular ticket, so I have to see where to access that.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll help you with
They
that.
wouldn't exchange it to a virtual, so it was a real ticket, and I don't know where it is. But yeah, they were talking
Well,
about the water.
I'll teach you how to get to that. That's no problem.
Okay.
So, and both Mike and Mike is here. He and I have both recorded that part of the conference so that we can share it with others in smaller chunks, So I was just saying that, when the water does come out, that actually we're going to be able to add a supplement or 2 that he has invented to the water machine itself and direct the water to certain organs. I just like,
I can't wait.
what? How can this,
Can't wait.
how can this be? It's going to be, well, just amazing. And just so, in case nobody, someone that isn't present on our recording right now, hasn't seen anything about the water either. It's not like you can chug this water all day long. You're to only have like a glass at a time, 16 ounces, and look for some results like in minutes or seconds. So pretty powerful stuff. Thank you so much for joining us, Angela. Angela, would you like to just say, how long you've been part of LifeWave, who your sponsor is, and why you're here today?
Okay. Yeah, my name's Angela, and I met Sunshower. The dog is going to start. I met Sunshower in a meeting, and she talked about LifeWave, and I said, I want to get it immediately. I just saw the benefits. So it's been about, I think I joined like last August, I think, and I've been using them, and I love them. I have a lot of things wrong with me, so I think it's just kept me going. I've seen, there's a lot of healing to be done. So I love the product. Wonderful. Okay, I'm gonna put this on mute now so you don't hear it.
Okay. Oh, well, we can't hear anything behind you there. It's cool if you want to stay. unmuted, but anyway, thank you very much, Angela. And how about Mike McClellan, please?
So I've been using the patches since I met Sunshower at a Chamber of Commerce meeting on August 19th. So not quite 3 months, or 2.5 months. So the reason I started is because I had a lot of pain in my back, and she got up in the meeting and talked about patches that help relieve pain. So I caught my attention right away. I came up and asked her if I could have her card, and then she started talking to me about what my issue was. When I told her that I had back pain, she reached up and took the patch off the back of her neck and put it on my back. And
That's
right away, I started feeling relief from it. Within probably half an hour, 15 minutes, the pain was mostly gone. So I was hooked from the beginning. I'd been going to the chiropractor once or twice a week, and I would go to the chiropractor and get adjustment, and then a couple, 3 days later, I'm hurting again. So it was like just back and forth, back and forth. So when I started wearing the patches, I haven't been back to the chiropractor since then. And I haven't felt like I needed to go, which is really good. I've got a lot of my pain, other aches and pains in my body's relieved. The like Sunwolf said, I noticed the other day that my floaters were gone.
Wow.
And
Fantastic. Fantastic.
yeah. The other thing is I had an issue with for the last 8 years, I had a loose bowel. So my stool was very soft. Wasn't quite to the point of diarrhea, but it was very soft. So 6 weeks into the patch, and the other thing is that I would only go 2, maybe 3 times a week. And so 6 weeks into the patches, I noticed that I was going every day, and it was normal. So I had tried over-the-counter stuff and other things to try and fix it, and nothing really helped. So I was really pleased with that.
Great story.
And what I know about Mike is he has been wanting to decrease the number of clients that he works with his IT business, and is kind of looking, that helped. The fact that he was open, looking, and, willing to try the patches, and it worked so well, he began sharing. And so what's happened in the last week for you?
Well, I don't know exactly when, but I got 4 brand partners signed up, so I became manager.
There you go.
Since then,
Bravo.
since I've got one more customer and 1 more brand partner. I have one of my brand partners who has now 3 brand partners under him, and my other one has 2 under her.
Fantastic.
And that last one that you just spoke about was so cool because Mike belongs to a referral group, and the woman that one of the women said, would you mind speaking at a group? I have a cancer group. And so he called me and said, can we do that? And I go, oh, sure. And then I arranged to have Jonna come in by Zoom and speak to the group from a more medical standpoint, which is always helpful. It's really good for us not to be the mouthpiece and always yakking away, but to bring in somebody. And of course, she was the perfect choice as far as my upline goes. I mean, I have a choice of 4 or 5 people. Why wouldn't I choose somebody that has a strong medical background to speak with these cancer patients? So I actually did patch one lady at that and at that gathering after Jonna had spoken. And of course, she didn't say she felt anything instantly, but what was the result of that? Do you remember, Mike?
So by the next day, she said, yeah, she told Lindy, this did help me. And so Lindy signed up and became she was the first brand partner in that group. And so she signed up and started using the patches every day. And when I met with her like 4 days later, she says, well, I really have not felt anything super extraordinary except for one thing, and I cannot deny how much energy I have. I'm just going like um the bunny guy, ever
Energizer bunny.
Energizer Buzzy, yeah. So then she gave that testimonial back to Molly, who was the first one that we patched. So Molly said, okay, well, I'm in. And so Molly joined. And so we signed up Molly under Lindy. And then,
Beautiful.
so Molly then yesterday went over and met with Maria. And so we signed her up under Lindy as well.
So now Lindy's halfway to manager. Clark is 3/4 of the way to manager in just like a short amount of time, which really speaks loudly to me. You know, I remember when I first joined, like yourself, when you rejoined 4 to 5 years ago, you know, people were still like real hesitant. They hadn't heard of this. But nowadays it seems like, well, the word is out. And
The
people
word is
are
out.
like, yeah, I've heard of these patches. Suddenly there's some credibility to this, right?
Yeah.
Well, is
So
it any wonder that now you have what, 5 or 6 people under you within 2 months? What?
yeah. So on Thursday, we went down to the temple, and I just happened to be. It was in the dressing room, and the guy was talking about that he had injured his knee playing pickleball, and he was about probably about my age, somewhere around that. I think he's like 2 years younger than me. So I says, and here I was without a patch. Next time I'll make sure I have one with me. But the other thing is that I got his name and number, and I sent him a video, and he watched the video that night. So I called him the next day, and he says, well, you know, that's really a good idea, but my legs are really feeling a lot better and everything. I says, well, that's not the only thing these do. So I went in about the stem cells and how it goes in and helps repair parts of your body that are needing it. And he said, well, my wife had a stroke. I says, yep, I believe we could help her with that. So he went ahead and signed up yesterday and ordered some for her. And while we were talking, you know, I was explaining how the multi-level system works, where if I make a little money on what he buys, and he can refer other people and he'll make a little bit of money on them. And so, but he started right away talking about, well, wow, I could do that and share it with my brothers. So he was getting excited about it before we even got him signed up.
Beautiful.
I think we lost Sunshower.
Sunshower. That's funny. The star is gone. That was a great share, Mike. That was a fantastic share. Very inspiring. It's just about sharing, caring to share.
Yeah, it's just paying attention to who needs it and opening your mouth.
And I love the fact that you're really listening and tuning in to what people are saying and the conversations they are having, because we really are need fillers. You know, we're providing a solution. We're providing another way that's non-invasive, that's got the science, the clinicals, the patents, and that's mega huge. Mega, mega huge. And of course, I mean, it's so exciting. Like I mentioned earlier, the documentary that's going to be done on David and his life, and the water, light water, infused with light. I found it amazing at the convention how many top health professionals are there, and whistleblowers and people into truth and freedom. And it's just an incredible group. And it's incredible for the next convention coming up in Anaheim. They've already, I think, over 4,000 tickets were already pre-sold. That's
Easy.
wild. There she's back.
So I'd love to introduce you to my sister, Kim.
Howdy.
Hi, Kim.
So if you'll just say, you know, where you live, how long you've been doing Life Wave, and like the Queen's Wave, yeah. Yeah. Okay, go for it, Kim. And anything that you like about Life Wave. You're muted.
Oh, I thought I unmuted.
Really?
I'm in
Hi.
Atascadero, California. Like me, you've probably never heard of it before. San Luis Obispo County. Anyways, let's see. When did I join?
4 years
Shortly
ago.
after Sunshower.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my favorite thing is Ice Wave. I have a lot of back pain. Yeah. I don't know what else to tell you.
Well, you use just about every patch we have, and you know, it's had really good success. I was with Kim on her 60th birthday, and she had a little, wasn't it your heart that day?
Yeah.
And what did
Yeah,
we
I have
use?
a blood pressure issue.
So what did we use that day to
Yeah.
help you?
Oh gosh, I don't remember.
That was Eon.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she's definitely a fan and just keeps ordering, keeps her auto ship going, keeps herself active. And I appreciate you so much, Kim.
Oh, well, you're welcome.
Great to see you, Kim.
All righty. So if you'd like to say, actually, we don't want to keep on too much longer, Sunwolf. So if you could just, I gave you a few pointers. If you wouldn't mind just addressing one or two of those, like in the next 3 or 4 minutes, that would be good.
All right. Okay. So the way to the top is really very simple. Brick upon brick, layer upon layer. And I think the bricks we want to build is managers. Breaking out managers is everything. I think it's also really important as you introduce the opportunity to people. Obviously, we're really looking at how we can help people with their health, but the people you want to take with you in terms of building an organization, you know, I think it's important to find those people you really like, you build a relationship with, and think of the people you want to have on your board of directors. I've made the fatal mistake of dragging my family across the finish line, or certain friends that said they wanted to do something, but it really wasn't the truth. You know, I kind of wanted it more than they wanted it for themselves. I think, again, really having the fun in this opportunity, and people are attracted to fun, keep it light, you know, using the tools is really, really important. And again, really choose wisely who you want to spend time with, who you want to share this with. And something happened recently to me where someone was very interested in Apaches, and that person came from someone else, and he had this attitude that I'm going to give it a try for a month and see what happens, and I'm not interested to learning anything about it. I'm not watching videos. And he had this kind of an attitude, you know, and so I said to him, I don't think this is for you. Because if a person is not committed to really look at what we've got and building a kind of relationship with this incredible product, then, you know, they don't have the attitude. And the guy's diet was really poor and he wasn't willing to change. So sometimes it's good to take it away from people. The other thing that's really amazing is lifestyle, how you're in business for yourself and not by yourself. And it's incredible when you have an organization that you start experiencing residual income. And I'll never forget what John Paul Getty says, I'd rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts than have 100% of my own. So it's a team sport. And we learn so much about ourselves. You know, we learn so much about people. It's really building relationships. It's the greatest school of personal growth with a compensation plan attached to it. So there's no shortage of how we could be in front of people, meet people. There's so many different networking platforms, and just just create that funnel, that ongoing opportunity to connect and talk to people, make that list, and using your team, using the support, Sunshower, John, and myself, my sponsor, Judy, we have a great, illustrious upline support. And yeah, this is an incredible lifestyle. And more people are looking for a new pivot. They're tired of just doing things that they don't love and care for, and maybe just, pay the bills. So they want something more meaningful that really has an important purpose, that fills a purpose. And this is very much of a cause-driven company. The people are more driven by cause and mission than even by money. And that's number one. And number two is recognition. People love to be recognized, and this is a great opportunity to experience that. And of course, number three is the money. So there's no ceiling. You decide through your efforts and consistency what you want to do, and based on consistent effort, you'd be amazed what happens. And just hearing Mike's story, it's very inspiring, very inspiring. So there you really have it in a nutshell. Use the tools. We've got a great system, and just plugging in and catching some of the replay calls, and not to try to do it all on your own. We're here to support. And Sunshower is an incredible team leader. I'm very impressed and just blown away with her growth. And it's just wonderful to see. What can I tell you? It's beautiful to see people transform.
Thank you so much, Sunwolf. Wow. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
I
You're
take that humbly. And I was just wondering if, Mike, if you had something you'd like to close with, and then we'll call it a wrap.
Other than just say your health is your wealth and protect it with your life.
Well
Wow.
said.
Beautiful.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much, and for allowing us to record this. For folks that weren't able to make it today, I know they're going to appreciate this. And thank you, Sunwolf. Jana was here for about 10 minutes. That was great. And all of you, blessings to all of you. Let's say good night.
Blessings. Thanks for making this happen. Blessings to you all. Have a wonderful weekend.
Good night.